I did provide these 4 evidences, and Matt just really didn't address these. They virtually went dropped. He just said, well, you can't verify. Well, some of them you can verify, like I mentioned. Let's begin with my first major contention, that empirical data strongly suggest that reality has a supernatural dimension. And here I provided 4 lines of evidence in support of that contention. I argued for paranormal phenomena, well-evidenced near-death experiences, veridical apparitions, and extreme answered prayer. What Matt argued is he came back and he said, well, you can't test those. They got to be scientifically there for test. Well, the science disciplines have different methods. There is no single scientific method. A geologist has a different kind of method than, say, a chemist or an astronomer. And there are certain, not all science has a scientific method where you can test something or you can repeat this in a lab. For example, geology, evolutionary biology, paleontology, archaeology, all of these sciences, you can't test these things. You can't do controlled and repeatable experiments in these. So it's like Matt wants a kind of gadget with a battery in it where if it's a miracle, you point it at it and push a button and a green light flashes. That's the wrong kind of test that you're looking for. It's like taking your laptop and put it in an MRI hoping that it will diagnose why it's running slowly. It doesn't work. Second, I did provide these 4 evidences, and Matt just really didn't address these. They virtually went dropped. He just said, well, you can't verify. Well, some of them you can verify, like I mentioned with the approximately 300 well-evidenced near-death experiences. 200 alone are in that book, where in order to be included in that book by these scientists, it had to have at least one external source who could corroborate the occurrence of the event. Not that this person thought they experienced it, but that when this person said, hey, I met so-and-so and they told me this, they could, boy, I wish I could give examples. There's so many examples, I just don't have the time. Well, I'll give one real quick if I can. There's this one example where this mother was dying. She was in the hospital, ready to die, and she wanted to see, or actually she didn't want to see her son. She was estranged from him. He had caused him great financial trouble. He wanted to see her. She refused. The daughter was with her mom in the hospital. The son was in a bar across from the hospital crying at the bar when all of a sudden his mom came walking in. She was dressed. She came in the bar. She saw him. She started walking toward him. He stood up. He said, Mom, what are you doing here? He starts walking, and some people got in the way, and she was gone. Well, a few moments later, her mom in the hospital woke up, and she told her daughter, I just had a weird dream. I dreamt that I was in a bar, and I saw my son crying at the bar, and he started walking to me, and then I woke up. And the doctors, a doctor who was there who had been tending was able to verify this with the son, that that's what he saw independently, and then verify it with the daughter, and then mom died that night. So you see these kinds of things. That's the kind of stories that we find, 200 to 300 of these, so they are verified.